Governor Shri Bhaskar Ram Garu, District Conference Chair Mr. Hota Raja, Senior Rotarians, Senior Rotaractors, and guests. It's indeed my great pleasure. Gentlemen, may I have this? Pleasure to be addressing all of you, the Rotarians from 6 different districts. This topic has been very, very interesting. And before actually I get into the topic, I would also request all those participants who are having lunch outside this room, you all can still see me. I'm sure you can listen to me and also continue to enjoy your lunch. Before I develop on the topic, this topic, CSR funding, a boon to NGOs. And each word in this topic is very, very important and relevant. Manaku NGO ante enti ani teliyali. NGO ante andariki telusu. Enti non-government organization. So what is so great about it? Non-government organization unte fundlu vallaki ivala. Other than NGOs, you have government organizations, you have organizations which are for profit. But the thing is, non-government organizations, వాళ్ళు ఇటువంటి CSR పనులు చాలా బాగా చేస్తారు. వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు చేస్తారు? Why government organization cannot do? Government organization, they have limited resources. They have bureaucratic approaches. But whereas NGOs, their style of functioning, their outreach, I hope you all know that the number of NGOs in this country is much more than that of even primary health centers. So the outreach of NGOs and NGOs being a part of implementing agencies for the CSR, it's very, very important. And these NGOs are non-profit organizations, and they actually, they reach out to the public, they reach out to the remotest parts of the country very, very easily. And these NGOs, registration is of 3 types. Because last evening, when we were all quite spirited in the evening, there were people who were asking me, what are the things, how to get the funds from the corporates. NGOs, first of all, you need to register yourself under maybe the trust, as a trust, or as a society under Societies Act, or the latest amendment that has come is the Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, modified last year. 21-22. So this is important. So unless and until your registration is there, you will not get the fund. And not only that, the most important, oka rule pettaru 21-22 lo, unless meeru Section 8 lo of the Companies Act 2013 and by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, our registration adi untene meeku funds vastayi. I hope you are very clear about the word NGOs. But now what is CSR funding? What is meant by CSR? It is called Corporate Social Responsibility. Andariki telusu. Enti mari corporate social responsibility means social responsibility of the corporates, social responsibility of the company. Why should any? Because I am representing corporate. I was with ONGC as executive director, and I spent nearly 35 years in this organization. I met number of NGOs in different parts of this country, even lower Himalayas, through Terry Hydro Development Corporation, Assam, Nagaland. You talk about the state, I was there. I also was associated with corporate social responsibility outside India. I was a company attorney and head HR of ONGC Nile Ganga BV in Khartoum, Sudan, outside. So as a result, I understand the problems of NGOs and where there is a meeting spot. Now, when it's the responsibility of the corporates, of the companies, why should we go to NGOs? Because, as I told you, I represent ONGC. If I represent ONGC, should I be producing oil and gas, or should I be doing social responsibility? Okay, why not? Why can't you do it? Okay, I am ready to do it. But even if I do it, will I be able to do a justice to this job? Because I do not have the kind of experience, the NGOs have, the awareness, understanding, penetration into the society, outreach. When I talk about all these things, definitely NGOs are in a better position. Therefore, corporate social responsibility funding is definitely a boon to NGOs because of the non-bureaucratic nature of the NGOs and also the limitations of the corporates for them to undertake this corporate social responsibility. You all know this is a management concept whereby companies integrate their both environmental and societal provisions in their company, and so that also they engage themselves with the stakeholders. I'll just have a loss of photo. See, all of us need to understand. See, last evening and this morning in the lift also, many people happened to ask me, Maaku dabbulu ela vastayi? Maaku fund kavali. Fund ela vastundi? Fund ela vastundante rendu బాధ్యతలు ఉన్నాయి. ఒకటి కార్పొరేట్ యొక్క రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఒకటి ఉంది, దట్ ఈస్ డెల్ట్ అండర్ కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్ 2013 యాజ్ అమెండెడ్ ఇన్ 2014, 2021 అండ్ 2022. దాంట్లో ఎటువంటి కంపెనీస్కి ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ మ్యాండేటరీ అన్నమాట. ఇంతకుముందు కూడా ఉండేది, కానీ ఇట్ వాస్ నాట్ మ్యాండేటరీ. A company having net worth of 500 crores or a turnover of about 1000 crores or net profit of 5 crores. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా మినిమం 2% వాళ్ళు సిఎస్ఆర్ ఫండ్కు కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయాలి. అంతేకాదు అటువంటి కంపెనీస్ కూడా కార్పొరేట్ సోషల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఒక కమిటీ తప్పకుండా ఫామ్ చేయాలి. అది ఎందుకు చేయాలి? అది దట్ ఈస్ ద హైయెస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ దట్ ఈస్ గివన్ బై ది గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఫర్ ఈచ్ కంపెనీ. ఎందుకంటే కింద వదిలిపెట్టేస్తే దాని మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉండదు, పని చేయకపోవచ్చు. కాబట్టి బోర్డ్ లెవెల్లో మినిమం 3 డైరెక్టర్లు. నాట్ ఓన్లీ దట్, ఆ 3 డైరెక్టర్లో ఒక డైరెక్టరు ఇండిపెండెంట్ డైరెక్టర్గా ఉంటాడు. ఎందుకంటే వీ ఆల్సో నీడ్ టు గెట్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఫ్రమ్ అవుట్ సైడ్. సో ఇట్ టాక్స్ అబౌట్ అప్లికబిలిటీ. Then the second is about the board's responsibility. Then CSRs, as I told you, minimum 3 directors. One should be independent director. And there are very clearly specified duties and responsibility, the role and responsibilities of this CSRC committee, that is CSR committee. One is that they need to definitely formulate and recommend a CSR policy for the approval of the board. They should also recommend the expenditure. How do they recommend the expenditure? 2% of their annual budget, that is the cumulative profits of the previous 3 years, 2% of that amount minimum they need to spend that amount. Next. And board's responsibility, number 1, they have to disclose the board's composition, that CSRC composition, and communicate through their websites or annual reports. And also there is an obligation, it is mandatory for them to spend this amount of CSR budget, that is, as I told you, 2%. Next. Reporting and penalty. It is mandatory that all the companies, వాళ్ళు సిఎస్ఆర్లో ఏ పనులు చేశారు, ఎంత పని చేశారు, ఎంత డబ్బులు స్పెండ్ చేశారు, ఇవి తప్పకుండా రిపోర్ట్ ద్వారా ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేయాలి. నెంబర్ 1. ఒకవేళ డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెట్టకపోతే ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అన్ అఫెన్స్. But not reporting, and why they have with some justification or reasons, this is the amount allocated. We have about 200 crore. We have spent only 150 crore. You have to disclose along with the justification. But that is not an offense. Not reporting is definitely an offense. Next. Now, 2014లో కొన్ని అమెండ్స్మెంట్స్ వచ్చాయన్నమాట. దాంట్లో ఏంటి, ఒకటి గ్రూప్ ఎఫర్ట్స్, ఒక ఓఎన్జీసీ ఆర్ ఒక కార్పొరేట్ కాకుండా 2-3 కార్పొరేట్లు కలిసి కూడా చేయొచ్చు. కానీ వాళ్ళ బడ్జెట్ మటుకు అలొకేషన్ వేరేగా ఉంటుంది. దెన్ హూ కెన్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ సిఎస్ఆర్? దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్. ఎవ్రీ వన్ టుడే, ద లేటెస్ట్ అమెండ్మెంట్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇనఫ్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ఎ ట్రస్ట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇనఫ్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ఎ సొసైటీ. యూ షుడ్ నెసెసరీలీ హ్యావ్ a certification or approval from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under Section 8. Unfortunately, our Rotary Club is already registered under Section 8 of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Now, capacity building. Capacity building means మన CSRలో కొంచెం డబ్బులు మన ఎంప్లాయీస్ని వాళ్ళకు అవేర్నెస్ తీసుకొచ్చేందుకు వాటికి కూడా వీ కెన్ ఆల్వేస్ స్పెండ్. But such an expenditure should not go beyond 5% of the actual expenditure. Next. Activities not falling in the ambit of CSR. ఏంటో మనం చెక్ బుక్ డొనేషన్ ఇస్తాము, ఆర్ టీవీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంటుంది, రేడియో ప్రోగ్రామ్, ఆర్ మ్యారథాన్ సెషన్, ఇటువంటివి చిన్న వాటికంతా కూడా దే ఆర్ నాట్ కవర్డ్ అండర్ CSR. Likewise, if you spend some money for your company, for your employees, that is also not covered under CSR. Supposing ONGC, మేము ఎన్ని రోడ్లు వేస్తుంటామో, ఎన్ని కిలోమీటర్లు వేసామో, at least I can tell you, ONGC might have spent not less than 2,000 crores on laying of roads. But there are two types of expenditure. If ONGC lays a road for its operational purposes, that cannot be considered under CSR. అలా కాకుండా ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్గా ఇప్పుడు యానాం యదుర్లంక ఒక బ్రిడ్జ్ కట్టారు. అది అబౌట్ 10 years back. I know that ONGC committed more than 50 crore we had given at that point of time. And so that comes under CSR. It is not exclusively for the operations of ONGC. So you need to understand what are the things which are covered, which are not covered. And next. This is what is called Schedule 7 of the companies. ఏ పనులు మనము చేయొచ్చు CSRలో, ఏ పనులు, ఎడ్యుకేషన్, హెల్త్, upliftment of women, upliftment of differently abled people, backward classes people. There are so many categories, even monuments, heritage monuments, even wild animals. ONGC has taken up different projects. I was very closely associated with so many projects. For instance, there is an animal called Eastern Swamp Deer. అది మన కాజీరంగా పార్క్లో ఉంది. అది దాన్ని పేరేంటంటే తెలుగు, అది హిందీలో చెప్పాలంటే బారాసింగా అంటారు. అంటే 12 కొమ్ములు ఉంటాయి. ఈ 12 కొమ్ముల బారాసింగా, దట్ పర్టికులర్ స్పీషీస్, ఇట్ వాజ్ హైలీ ఎండేంజర్డ్ స్పీషీస్. అటువంటిది విత్ వైల్డ్ ట్రస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా దాంతో మేము చేసి వీఆర్ ప్రొటెక్టింగ్ దట్ యానిమల్ అండ్ ద ప్రోగ్రెస్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ రియలీ వెరీ గుడ్. అదేవిధంగా ఎన్నో రకరకాల ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేశాము. హరిత్ మోక్ష క్రిమెటోరియం వచ్చేసి అది మాడిఫైడ్ ఇప్పుడు, బికాస్ సమ్ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ what is called inclination to go only in a traditional way for the last rites. But then in order to fulfill the requirements or expectations of the people, as well as to reduce that usage or utilization of this firewood, there is a modified electric crematorium we have done. Normally for a body it consumes around 450 to 500 kilos. With this modified crematorium it is around 150 to kilos. That means you are saving a lot of firewood. Next please. So next. Yeah, this is the very important slide. The latest amendments. ఇంతకు ముందు మేము ఏం చేసేవాళ్ళము, మాకు గవర్నమెంట్తో ఎక్కువ పని ఉంటుంది, వై షుడ్ ఐ గివ్ ఎనీ మనీ టు NGO, మేము డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కలెక్టర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి డబ్బులు ఇచ్చేసేవాళ్ళం అనమాట. ఆ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కలెక్టర్ ఎలా చేస్తారో మీకు బాగా తెలుసు, చాలా చక్కగా చేస్తారు, అన్నీ మీకు తెలిసిన విషయాలే, దాని గురించి ఇప్పుడు నేను మాట్లాడను. కానీ ఇప్పుడు దీంట్లో దిస్ పర్టికులర్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు బి డన్ by Ministry of that CSR 1 certification they require. This particular certification is accorded by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So we have to necessarily go through NGOs. Next please. Impact assessment, the CSR expenditure, what should we do with the unspent money? It has to be carried forward for the next year. How it is to be done, all these details are given. మీ అందరినీ ఇంప్రెస్ చేసేందుకు ఒక మంచి స్లైడ్ తీసుకొచ్చాను నేను. చూస్తాను ఎంతమంది అవుతారు. నెక్స్ట్. యా, దిస్ ఈజ్ ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ CSR ప్రాజెక్ట్స్. నెక్స్ట్, యూ నీడ్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ thing we need to take. For instance, would you like to go for education? Would you like to go for health? This thing, depending upon the area in which you operate. For instance, Rampachodavaram, it's a tribal area. Let us say you come to Eluru, it is a forestation, forest-related thing. You come to Rajamandri, something else, maybe poor people. And you go to Hyderabad, it could be something different. You go to somewhere like Jammu and Kashmir, it is totally different. There are drug addiction, so we need to go for drug de-addiction and also educate people. And in places like Assam, we normally pick up 30 students from each area, fairly good, from the backward but bright people. We coach them for engineering courses and medical courses, and the results have been phenomenal. For this, ONGC contributes everything, education, khana, pina, rehna, sab. Next, please. And the selection of implementing agency is also very important, because ఏంటంటే మీకు చెప్పాను కదా, number of NGOs ఇండియాలో it is much more than that of primary health center. ఎవరినన్నా టచ్ చేస్తే నేను NGO బాబు అంటారు. And how are you? I am a nice man. I am a good man. And మాకు గ్లాజీ బుక్స్ తీసుకొస్తారు. అందులో ఇద్దరు poor people will be there, and you are likely to be, hi Gopinath, you are doing a wonderful job. Gopinath did not do anything. I have only taken a photograph with a jadu like a political leader, and you say that I have done a lot of CSR. So that is actually not correct. This selection of implementing agency, supposing let us say there is one club or one NGO doing extremely well in Rajamandri in the area of education. If this agency is engaged by ONGC somewhere in Nagaland or Assam or Tamil Nadu, you may not be successful at all. And secondly, you have been handling a fund of, let us say, 5 lakh or 10 lakh or 5 crore. I have a project of 100 crore. Will you be able to handle? Do you have that wherewithal? Do you have the infrastructure? Do you have that manpower? Do you have that need assessment study? So there are so many things in a project. You need to identify whether the NGO has the requisite, infrastructure to implement this. And secondly, we do not give any donation to an NGO who does not have a standing of minimum 3 years. For those minimum 3 years also, you need to have audited accounts. Next, please. Implementation monitoring, మేము స్పెండ్ చేసేస్తాము. సార్ ఫర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ట్రీ ప్లాంటేషన్ ఎన్ని చేసావయ్యా అంటే 2,22,342 ప్లాంట్స్ చేసామంటారు. అదేంటి? బికాజ్ 31st March లోపల చేయాలి. మరి 1st April హీఈస్ గివింగ్ ఏ రిపోర్ట్, హీఈస్ ఆస్కింగ్ ఫర్ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ అప్రైజల్ రిపోర్ట్ అవుట్ స్టాండింగ్. మరి ఎన్ని లైవ్ అంటే సార్ ఒక 1% 2% చేసేసి ఇన్ని లైవ్ అని చూపిస్తాడు. బాబు 31st March వరకు నువ్వు స్పెండ్ చేసావు. Who counted all these plants, whether they are live or not? Ante jhoot moot reports bhi milta hai. Okay, next. Yeah, over a period of time, there has been an evolution from philanthropy to compliance. Now the last one is value creation. Ladies and gentlemen, you must all remember one thing: for any enterprise, for any corporate, for any business, resources come from two areas, either from planet or from people. If you are running a business, where are you getting the resources from? From the society, from the people, the skilled people. At the same time, unfortunately, we spend a lot of natural resources like water, earth, even wind, the air. But the companies do not give back. So, therefore, this mandatory Companies Act of 2030 is definitely a boon to the NGOs, because they will be in a position to get funds for them to really do something good in the area. So this is called natural capitalism. That is, secondly, last one is the economy. For every corporate's one of the main objective is profit. When you are working for profit, you don't intend to spend towards planet or maybe people. That's why the mandatory laws have come. Next, please. This is a CSR flow chart. Once an NGO gives a proposal, what kind of route it takes place. మీ అందరికీ నేను ఈ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ షేర్ చేస్తాను. అది చేసిన తర్వాత మీకు అందరికీ పూర్తిగా అర్థమవుతుంది. దాంట్లో రెండు విషయాలు, కార్పొరేట్లో ఏమి రూల్స్ అండ్ రెగ్యులేషన్ మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. తర్వాత మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా ఒక ప్రపోజల్ ఎక్కడైనా ఏ కార్పొరేట్ కన్నా వెళ్ళి సబ్మిట్ చేయాలంటే అది ఏ విధంగా పెట్టాలి, వాట్ ఆర్ ద డూస్ అండ్ డోంట్స్ చాలా డీటెయిల్డ్గా మేము ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాము. నెక్స్ట్, Yeah. Now look at this slide for 2 minutes. Very silently, you will be able to understand. ONGC has enormous funds. When we talk about 2% of our net profit for the preceding 3 years, sometimes the funds come up to 600 crore per annum, 500 crore per annum of that range. That means even if we spend 1 crore a day, we will not be able to fulfill that expenditure. Not only that, you all know that in the government, how many days are holidays, in addition to Saturday, Sunday, Mahashivratri, Eid. No, so many holidays. What is Monday? Monday is a working holiday because Saturday, Sunday, वो मजा करके आते हैं, Monday काम करने का दिल नहीं करता है. Friday क्या है? Next weekend आ रहा है, हम तो मजा करेंगे, वो उसमें भी आ जाता है. So you can understand the problems of PSUs. So that's why NGOs are definitely a boon. I must definitely thank Mr. Bhaskar Ram for having chosen the right subject. See, we are also giving what is the budget and what is the expenditure. Sometimes, for instance, the last one, 22-23, the current financial year, we have already committed. When we give the money, people have to give the fund utilization certificate. इस दुनिया में, इस संसार में, what is the costliest resource, you know? Not money, time. Mana pillale manaku time ivaru. Bye daddy, hi daddy. Hi and bye, you only hear these 2 words. Likewise, I am sure our Rotary Club members, they spend a lot of time in the areas wherever you take up CSR intervention. Unless and until you go there, you spend time in villages, you will not be able to understand the various aspects of a particular project. And once you learn, you will be in a position to make mid-course corrections. Supposing, let us say, you envisage a project, and in the process, you may have to make certain alterations. I'm sure you will be able to do. Next. This is the checklist. I will not read up. There are about 6 to 7 pages. It is a beautifully drafted checklist. Any NGO, including our Rotary Club, you can take that 5 to 6 pages, see whether tick mark. Unless and until you comply with all these requirements, your project, your proposal will not be considered. Next. Next. I'll just show you some examples. Next. Yeah. This is a Shikafa multi-speciality hospital. This is a hospital ONGC has constructed in Sibsagar at a cost of 483 crore. You can imagine starting a hospital is not a joke. You need to have a nursing, then doctors, then specialists, infrastructure, equipment, sanitation, and also movement of people, mobilization of people. There are so many aspects. Next. See, these are all the, can you imagine in a place like Assam, Sibsagar, these are all the specialities that they have in our hospital, ONGC hospital. Next. We have also contributed to the Nagpur Cancer Institute. Next. Skill development and drug addiction at Baramulla, I happen to make a mention. There are drug addicts problem there. At the same time, we have also imparted certain special training for, say, tailoring. There are so many types of courses, the cultural values and personality development. మనకెందుకంటే వాళ్ళు ఈవెన్ ఇండియాలో కూడా మనం ఈ క్లబ్లో కానీ మన ఈ ఏరియాలో కానీ one may be very well educated, but when it comes to communication, there is always a problem. So personality development lo, how to dress up, how to stand, how to talk, how to greet, how to interact. So these are some of the things we normally teach, that is soft skills required for any person in today's world. Next. Skill Development Institute, that is we have various courses in ONGC. We try to impart this kind of education to the local population so that they pick up these traits and they will get better employment chances. Next. I told you about the Super 30 from each area. These are all the places, that is engineering, medical, Sivsagar, Srinagar, Almora, Agartala, Kangra. See, and 240, 30, in batches of 30, we pick up from the economically backward classes, and we give them about 11-month training program and prepare them from medical and engineering. Next. Sanskrit Foundation. Next. Initiative to minimize the manhole scavenging. I'll be sharing this example, PowerPoint presentation with you. Next. Installation of PSA plant. This is very, very, very important during COVID days due to shortage of your oxygen, these PSA plants we have contributed, and so many things. As far as COVID is concerned, ONGC's contribution has been immense in this country. And not only that, we had a very unique challenge of mobilizing our people to different parts of the country. That is, we have a scheme called 14 days on-off. Supposing a gentleman working in Mumbai High, the people are drawn from different parts of the country. They need to be picked up from maybe Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh or even Arunachal Pradesh and ensure that he does not get impacted by COVID. And so there will be testing on arrival. But even then, there are big chances. We happen to face very difficult times. But even then, we have successfully overcome with so many SOPs for the manpower of ONGC. And not only that, in the process, we have helped many others also. Next. Next. Yeah, Swachhata Bharat initiative is very well known to each one of you. And it is driven by the center also. It has made a lot of difference. For instance, 9,461 school toilets constructed. There are many places, there are no toilets. Even a place like Bharuch district in Gujarat. Ladies, the girls do not have even clothes to wear. That is the kind of poverty India has. We are only talking about certain different kinds of issues keep coming up. Next. COVID intervention. Next. Thank you. Now, if there is any one or two questions, if anybody wants to ask, or should we all go break for lunch? Yeah, thank you. I'll be too glad to answer. Because without question answer, as far as the CSR is concerned. Okay.
Sir, as Rotary side, we also do a lot of grants. We have a different level of global grants and district grants. We have our own funds, which are mobilized by the Rotarians. But we also apply for, we try to knock the door for CSR for many of the companies. Last 3-4 years, we have been doing a lot of projects. The quick answer that we get from the corporates is, I'm not talking about ONGC, but anybody XYZ, saying that the local administration, the district collector, or somebody has the access to all the CSR funds in the district, and so we cannot give you anything. You please approach the district collector or the district administration for your project. That is the standard answer that we get.
I'll give you a much more standard answer. Number one, you happen to use the word grant in aid, right?
No,
the word grant in aid is forbidden as far as corporate social responsibility is concerned, because every CSR activity has to be undertaken in a projectized mode.
No, I am talking about Rotary grants, which we also do, okay. But we have a CSR window, sir. Now we have CSR India, which is India-specific grants that we can approach the CSRs, open the account, do the projects, and take support and build their name or a joint name or do something like that. We contribute to the project.
చెప్పిన విషయము చాలా కరెక్ట్.
Yeah.
కానీ నా ప్రెజెంటేషన్ లో ఒక ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్ చెప్పాను.
చెప్పండి.
21-22లో ఒక అమెండ్మెంట్ వచ్చిందని.
ఓకే.
దా అమెండ్మెంట్ ప్రకారము ఏ NGO అయినా సరే, ఏ ట్రస్ట్ అయినా సరే, ఎక్సెప్ట్ అండర్ దే హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ పర్మిషన్ ఆఫ్ CSR 1 certification from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay. Number one. Number two, good news, district collector does not qualify for receipt of CSR funds from the corporates.
No, that's right, sir.
Yeah.
But what is happening is, generally that is the answer that we get.
Yeah, I know. See, what happens now? It is a win-win situation. I am from ONGC. मेरे को सिरदर्दी कहाँ आता है? हाँ, मेरे को विलेज से आता है. Villagers, they also have lot of aspirations, expectations from ONGC. फ्री में मिलने से फिनाइल भी दे दो. उस तरह का लोग भी होते हैं. And not only that, for instance, I had happened to have a very big major problem about 4 years back when I was head of the regional office of Mumbai, because we spent 3 crore rupees a day. I am repeating, 3 crore rupees a day for seismic survey in Western offshore. Because in our ONGC operations, seismic survey is mandatory, because ekkada oil undi adi kanukonenduku konni basically geological and geophysical services chestamu. Akkada cheste fishermen, they are the kings of sea. I hope you know that. Vallani meer kaluste telustadi. ఎంత వాళ్ళు గట్టి వాళ్ళు అనేది. వాళ్ళ దగ్గర అడిగితే మా వర్క్ అంతా స్టాప్ చేస్తున్నారు. మా వర్క్ స్టాప్ చేస్తే మాకెంత లాసు? 3 crore rupees a day. వాళ్ళది ఏమంటారు, మీ ఒక్క సీస్మిక్ సర్వే వలన మా ఫిష్ అంతా దెబ్బతింటుంది, ఫిష్ అంతా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, మాకు వీఆర్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు డూ ఫిషింగ్, వీఆర్ నాట్ గెటింగ్ లైవ్లీహుడ్. I met the commissioner of fisheries. I said the kind of survey we do, it does not impact fishing as a profession or the fish, this thing, it does not get impacted. కానీ ఉన్న పొలిటికల్ పవర్స్ అవన్నీ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయో, నేను ముఖ్యమంత్రి మన మహారాష్ట్ర అంతవరకు కూడా డోర్కు అక్కడ అన్నాను, మీరు మా డోర్స్ చెప్తున్నారు, మేము కూడా ఎన్నెన్నో డోర్స్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తాము. యా yes see
Better than most of the NGOs.
please take this. Sorry,
He also has a question.
yeah.
No, sir. No, not the question. What the Tiku said, no, because in the local, mostly the corporates, when they are spending money for these type of eligible projects, they'll try to spend it through collector or something. So through collectors, through district collector or through district administration, so that they will have some voice with the collector.
Yeah.
So generally, obligation. See, local organization is there. And local one, say, funding act company is there, but the company, instead of giving directly to the NGO,
Why not?
no,
See,
they can.
in
I know
fact,
that. No,
yeah.
I'm also chartered accountant, sir. I know that. Morning also I spoke to you, no?
Yeah, I know.
Morning I spoke to
At
you.
the breakfast table, yeah.
The district collector got nothing to do with, and the company has no obligation to inform the district collector. But still, because the local prominence, that to have some voice with the
Yes.
interaction with the collector. Yeah, even some they're asking to route it through politicians and all.
మనకు జీవితంలో ఎటువంటి పని చేయాలంటే కూడా ఏదో ఒక డిఫికల్టీస్ ఉంటాయి.
Yes, of course.
విత్ యువర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, విత్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్, విత్ యువర్ రోటరీ క్లబ్ అఫిలియేషన్, బీయింగ్ ఎ రొటేరియన్, how to manage a bad boss, how to manage the bad boss even in the companies, corporates,
Yes,
and
yes.
that should be your tactic. టుడే మార్నింగ్ మీకు ఇంకో చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ విషయం కూడా చెప్పాను.
Yes, sir. Yes,
ఏం
sir.
చెప్పాను మీకు, మర్చిపోయారా? మన 1st February న్యూ అసెట్ మేనేజర్ ఈస్ జాయినింగ్
ONGC
ఇన్ కాకినాడ.
Yes, yes.
ఓకే,
Yeah.
అట్లీస్ట్ థ్యాంక్ మీ ఫర్ దట్.
Yes, I am coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming to meet
ఏంటో
you personally in the
నేనేదో
post
చిన్న
lunch.
మంచి సలహాలు ఇచ్చాను. ఉదయం ఏదో బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్లో ఎవరో 2-3 లిఫ్ట్లో కలిశారు. ఆ లిఫ్ట్లో కూడా నేను సలహాలు ఇచ్చేశాను. మీకు వాట్ ఈజ్ యువర్ ప్రాబ్లం? Are you a part of the problem? Are you a part of the solution? I can challenge you. Tell me the problem. Even if you fall in love with a girl, how to solve the problem? I'll tell you. Because in love, you only fall, you don't raise. There are so many things.
Thank you so much.
You will continue to have problems wherever you do. But as long as you have a willpower, you have a passion. What is most important is passion. Secondly, if you are going to a corporate, what is your credibility? For instance, somebody said, last one, joke. When I was about to get married about maybe 35 years back, many people told me, Gopi, you get married to a good girl. ఒకరు చెప్పారు, ఇద్దరు చెప్పారు, ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు వచ్చి గోపి గెట్ మ్యారీడ్ టు ఏ గుడ్ గర్ల్. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్, డిడ్ ఐ ఎవర్ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ మై మైండ్ టు గెట్ మ్యారీడ్ టు ఏ బ్యాడ్ గర్ల్? డెఫినెట్లీ నాట్. నౌ ద నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ ఈజ్, how to decide whether a girl is bad, good or bad? Only time will tell you. Am I right? But at the same time, before you get married to a girl, you look at so many things depending upon your requirements, quote unquote. The requirements may be horoscope, maybe sanskar, the pedigree, the parenting. Okay, katnam ani chepparu, nenu cheppaledu adi, endukante that is an offense. I cannot say from here. You can take. Yeah, Kaddam. And also the girl's education, upbringing, is she rural, semi-urban or urban? Kani most of the Indian men are always confused. They want their wives to be very modern and very sophisticated. But at the same time, anta sophisticated unte vallu illu vadulu bayitiki velte danger. So people are not very clear what they want, what they do not want. It is something somebody's interest. I want to get married to, let us say, Aishwarya Rai. Literally, she agrees and you get married to Aishwarya Rai. You will have more friends and you become a security guard. These are the issues. There are so many issues. Coming back to corporate social responsibility, first of all, my request, my suggestion would be, number one, establish a rapport with the corporate. Number two, you should not speak, your work should speak. First of all, whatever proposal you are going, thank you, madam, I'm happy. See, you should not speak. My previous speaker was talking about branding. You look at Mother Teresa. Did she do anything for publicity? Publicity is a byproduct of what good you do. మంచి పేరు సంపాదించుకుంటే ఎలా మంచి పేరు సంపాదించుకుంటాను? Unless I do good, I'm a good, basically, if you are a good human being, you have a commitment, you have a concern, you have what is called continuous efforts you need to make, you need to have passion. If you have passion, if you have confidence in yourself, you are definitely going to succeed. Ek din to jarur aap karenge. But suddenly if you go, there are 2-3 multiple things you need to do. As I told, one is the rapport building. The secondly, what is your experience? What is your core competency? If I can get a better NGO than Rotary, why should I go for Rotary? See, no, sir, Rotary is a very huge organization. We have so much money. We have so much standing. That's very good. But does it mean that I should not give it to another smaller NGO? There may be greater commitment. I have associated myself with NGOs in lower Himalayas, along with the Terry Hydro Development Corporation, with the National Association Blind in, this is near beyond Khargar, this one, Lonavla Khandala, near Khandala. And so many I can tell you. As far as the examples and my experiences, whenever any person comes to me, I will not give you some specific examples. People come to me, they talk very hi-fi English, very convincing, excellent presentation. But we also have our own unique selling point, USP, how to judge you, how to assess you. Because we also learn from our mistakes. Na? Once एक बार पैसा देने से पैसा दे के भाग जाता है आदमी. Huh? And everyone, मेरे को दे दो. What is that NGO should always do with my money? You should also do it. Like Rotary is doing an excellent job. There are funds coming from all the members and also from various bodies. Likewise, corporate is one area. It's a good area. ONGC also has contributed. I myself happen to contribute as the head regional office Mumbai to Pune, to this one, Khargar Rotary Club. When I gave the money to Pune, unfortunately, Rotary Club Pune, I'm sorry, I'm disclosing this example also, Rotary Club Pune could not spend the amount. See, we give you the amount, but where is the guarantee that you will be able to spend? That's why thoda phases mein dete hain hum. Because pura dene se, I mean, I'm not talking about, see, money is much easier than, see, to do a job it is much easy. But to get a job done through agencies, you will have different kinds of problems. For instance, this Yanam Yadurlanka, I did not complete it. N.T. Ramarao was the chief minister at that time. ONGC agreed to pay 50% of this Yanam Yadurlanka bridge, costing 12 crore that time. That means ONGC has agreed how much? 6 crore. Sure? I don't think so. Have we agreed 6 crore or 50%? మనము రాసేటప్పుడు అక్కడ 50% దట్ ఈస్ 6 crore రాసాము. అయినా కానీ గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ కంబైన్డ్ ఆంధ్ర మమ్మల్ని పట్టుకొని అది 12 crore has become 15 crore, 18 crore, 30 crore. Believe me and trust me, it crossed 100 crore. We agreed for 6 crore, we landed up paying more than 50 crore or something like that. So these are some of the things. We are also very, whenever an NGO comes, and secondly, capital expenditure. Are sir, if we are giving some, let us say, 10 lakh rupees, उसमें एक एम्बुलेंस खरीदेगा, उसमें बेटा जाएगा स्कूल. బికాజ్ మేము వచ్చినప్పుడేమో ఇద్దరు బీదవాళ్ళం పట్టుకుని తీసుకొస్తాడు. మేము అట్లా వెళ్ళిపోయిన తర్వాత కోడలు ఏదన్నా టీచింగ్ చిన్న స్కూల్లో బంద్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. ఆ అంబులెన్స్ ఈజ్, యూ కెన్ సీ అంబులెన్స్ గోయింగ్ టు ద స్కూల్ టు డ్రాప్ ద హిజ్ ఓన్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్. సో వీ నో ది అదర్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. బట్ ఐ విత్ ద డ్యూ రెస్పెక్ట్ అండ్ రిగార్డ్, ఐ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ గివింగ్ మీ దిస్ ఆపర్చునిటీ అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Honor Shri Gopinath ji for his wonderful presentation and solving many doubts. Sir, it was an astounding speech, sir. You made us enlightened about many doubts which are regarding